Hello, I'm David Chow reporting for the Finance News Network. Joining me from Volpara Health Technologies to discuss its 2016 financial year results is CEO and Executive Director Dr. Ralph Highnam. Ralph, welcome back.
Thanks, David. It's a pleasure to be talking with Finance News Network again, especially after another year of good product sales revenue growth.
Before we get to your results, can you start with a quick recap of the business?
David, as you're probably aware, we provide digital health solutions for the early detection of breast cancer. And one of our missions is to try and reduce some of the 500,000 deaths which occur globally from breast cancer each year. Our main product today is something called Volpara Density, which is a software solution that automatically and objectively analyzes a breast X-ray to generate a breast density score for the woman. And that actually allows the personalization of breast cancer screening to ensure cancers are detected early, which is critical for the woman's survival. But although that is now well validated and regulatory cleared around the world, we're rapidly now moving into big data and enterprise-wide cloud analytics to allow sites to control quality, comfort, safety, and productivity. Based in Wellington, but operating globally with installs into 34 countries. And our commercial focus, however, has really been the US since the start. Our product was developed for the US market in particular. And the US market is a huge one. It screens 39 million women a year, around 8,600 sites. And 90% of our revenues come from the US. And that's where our Chief Commercial Officer and Chief Marketing Officer are both based.
Thanks, Ralph. Now to your 2016 financial year results for the year ended 31 March. What were the highlights?
The highlight for me really was another good year of solid product sales growth, 31% increase on the previous year. And we retained good gross margin of just under 80% at 77%. And of course, the other highlight was listing on the ASX and getting the growth capital required to really build a much stronger sales and marketing team and the capital to really launch and perfect the new cloud-based analytics product, Volpara Enterprise, which will be coming out the door shortly. David, as you're probably aware from the results, the operating loss was New Zealand 4.5 million, which was as expected, due to building out the commercial and sales operations, but also paying for the IPO itself. But all investors also will note there was a large one-off non-cash adjustment we had to make to deal with New Zealand accounting standards, which has led to quite a large tax loss for the year. But that's all fully extinguished now with the IPO.
And when do you expect to be cash flow positive?
Well, we're just really building up the outstanding US sales force now. We've got 5 new salespeople starting today, actually, 1st of June over there in the US. And we've brought on a new VP Sales and Marketing for Europe and a new one for Australia and New Zealand. So as a company, we're really focused onto real revenue growth over this next year. But also with the gross margins, we are increasingly talking about profitability. Of course, the magical cash flow positive will come with the increased revenues. Okay,
and what was your cash position after the IPO?
We raised Australian 10 million at the IPO. We obviously had costs to pay out of that, and the cash position at the start of this year was around the $11 million mark.
Ralph, looking at revenue in more detail, what was the contribution from Volpara Density?
Volpara Density has been out there in the market for a few years now, and the market is now educated. We went through that big process of educating the market, and it's around 90% of our revenue come from Volpara Density, which is, I think, to be expected given the life cycle of the product. And again, we expect a lot of the sales over the next few months will be from Volpara Density. However, it's become very evident to me in particular now that the sales team and the customers are really starting to get tuned in to the benefits of Volpara Analytics and the kind of data that we actually have, which they've never seen before. So we're fully expecting Volpara Dose and Volpara Analytics to really start rising in terms of the overall percentage. And most quotes now, David, that we see going out don't just include Volpara Density, they actually include the whole package. So that's all good kind of in terms of the products we have out there in the field today. But of course, part of the IPO process was not only to build the US team, but also it was to launch Volpara Enterprise, which is it's a product, an analytics product based on the cloud, targeted at the breast imaging center managers, so not just the clinicians. And it's going to be priced in SaaS to try and move us from capital to operational budgets. We're on course on that to do a soft launch 1st of July. The beta testing's gone very well. The customers seem happy with it, and the trade shows we've attended, it's been a huge centre of interest for radiologists and breast centre managers. And so over the course of this year, we fully expect Volpara Enterprise to start playing a part in our revenue growth.
Very good. And how many sites in the US have one or more of these products?
Yeah, so the fundamentally over the last 3 or 4 years, we've only had 2 sales guys in the US. They've both been outstanding for us, very experienced in breast imaging and medical devices in general. Those 2 guys have got us into around 1% of the US market via a combination of direct sales and distributor sales. So that's a good start, but there's still 8,500 plus other sites to go. And with these new hires that we've got across the US, and again, very experienced breast imaging people, there's a big market for us still to go after, not just with density, but also then analytics, dose, and the new product Enterprise.
Last question, Ralph. What's your guidance for the 2017 financial year?
Yeah, we're fully expecting, David, another year of growth, and the whole company and indeed the whole market seems genuinely excited about where we're going with Volpara Enterprise. The amount of comments we're getting at trade shows and elsewhere shows just a level of excitement and amazement that all this data is kind of being collected in the background, but no one's actually been able to make sense of it before. But because of our knowledge built up through Volpara Density, suddenly we're revealing all this data to the world and really giving them some good, actionable intelligence.
Ralph Highnam, thanks for the update.
Thank you, David. It's been a pleasure.